All right, we are going to do this video on a crisis situation that we had at our school and how a leadership team comes together after the crisis situation to debrief about what each experienced, what our procedures were that we had in place, and if we feel like we did things right or if we would readjust for a situation like that in the future. So what I'd like to do right now is have each person go around and talk about their experience that they had during that time and just kind of what they saw happen, what they did. And then after everybody's shared what they've done, we're going to talk about, I wish we would have done this, or I felt like this worked really well. So if you would start, Mr. Murphy.
I received a level 3 call, which at our school is the top level, which means that it usually means an altercation has occurred. And so when I approached the classroom where the altercation had occurred in, I noticed a student there. And so at that point in time, I realized that we needed some assistance at that place. And so I think everyone did a fantastic job responding to the level 3 call. And as soon as I turned around, there were numerous other adults there at the school present. At that time, we made some decisions that we needed to take further action than our school could provide. At that time, I left the scene as I knew there were some other adults on the scene, and I proceeded to the front door where I waited for some assistance from an outside source to provide us.
As a principal, I was out of the building at the time, CO at a meeting. I'd gotten an alert that there was a 911 call for the school. I returned quick as I could back to the school along with one of the assistant superintendents. When we got to the school, we found that the school was going to kind of a holding pattern, and paramedics and some of the school staff was performing CPR on a student. Ambulance had arrived just right before I got there, and police were on the scene, and emergency personnel were doing what they were trained to do, which was save this young man's life. What I did then was I made an announcement to hold the bell schedule. After the child was taken to the hospital to receive more treatment, I had a quick meeting with the teachers in the pod to explain what happened. I then had a staff meeting at the end of the day with the entire staff to then explain to them what happened as well.
I also responded to the call itself. We received a level 3 call, and I went down to this pod and we saw the young man on the floor with 2 staff members working with him. We had several adults there to help out, and each of us kind of decided what we felt like needed to happen. We knew that Mom needed to be contacted, so I went to call Mom over the radio. I was trying to communicate to everybody that I was the one making the phone call to the mom. I knew the nurse had arrived and the officer was there and was treating the young man, so I felt that I could leave at that point to get a hold of Mom to make sure that Mom was communicated with. After I had gone back, they were performing CPR on this young man, so I continued to be in contact with Mom to let her know she would need to go to the hospital. And then I found the family school liaison to transfer that communication from Mom from myself to him because he was going to go to the hospital to meet with her. I understood that the lunchroom needed supervision at that point, so I moved to the lunchroom because we had a pod full of kids that would not be able to return to class after lunch was over, and then received information from the principal to move those kids into the small gym and hold them while they were debriefing with the staff members from that pod and providing counseling and support.
And as the school counselor, I also heard over the walkie-talkie a level 3 call, like Mr. Mucky had said. And so the other counselor and I had said, along with a nurse. So with that being stated, we immediately went to the pod, and upon arrival, it was myself and the other counselor, the nurse, and the SRO.